Regards to budget is over expectation as well. I think we were not expecting it to be that expensive. It's quite expensive.
The first day we were here, I got a bagel and cream cheese, and it was $12. So I definitely had a little bit of sticker shock.
I mean, if you have to pay $70 for valet parking, you're going to find out very quickly that people don't want to pay $70 for parking.
Perhaps even the brilliant lawyer David Boies, who has defended some of the most high-profile cases in the United States, would find it difficult to find a convincing defense against thousands of complaints from tourists regarding hidden fees in Las Vegas. Because the city's sins, which are not the result of a momentary mistake, lie in a chain of deliberate choices from the very beginning. Las Vegas was once born to make people believe in miracles. With just one lucky night, everything could change. But today, it's the most idealistic people who are the first to leave with a clear head. They realized the neon lights no longer illuminated the dream of a big win, but only shone on unreasonable bills, intricate traps, and the bottomless greed of casino corporations. In today's video, we'll peel back the remaining layers of Las Vegas's glitz and glamour to reveal a system so greedy it's self-destructive, a city abandoned by its own creators, and most importantly, a warning to all of America that not every dream is worth betting on. Expensive, expensive, and expensive. That's what visitors keep repeating when talking about this city. It wasn't because of the 115-degree Fahrenheit heat, nor was it because the world had changed travel behavior. And that's because Vegas itself has built a wall of costs, increasing with every surcharge, every restaurant bill, every parking ticket. An invisible wall, but thick enough to make hundreds of thousands of people turn away. Over 500,000 tourists have chosen to avoid the place, once dubbed the entertainment capital of the world. The city gave all sorts of reasons, but everyone knows the real reason lies in their wallets. Perhaps it was the scorching 49-degree heat outside, or perhaps other mysteries. That made every time I opened my wallet feel like the dollar bills inside were completely burned, leaving a strange emptiness after experiences that were supposed to be worth the money.
The consumer looks at it and says, man, I'm paying this much for this. I just don't see the value.
$12 for a pancake, $26 for 1 hour of parking, $50 for a resort fee per night. All of this creates the feeling that this city has inadvertently, or perhaps intentionally, poured too much magic into each of its products, making everything feel distant, expensive, and no longer like what made it beloved. A tourist shared her memorable experience of celebrating her birthday in Vegas on Facebook. Vegas price check, $24 for 4-thal sodas, 2 per person. Not complaining, just keeping it real, so you know what to expect when dining out at some Vegas restaurants. Just one line, not complaining, but it resonates with anyone who's ever been to Vegas. When I saw that post, I had to rub my eyes a few times to make sure I wasn't seeing things. $30 for a serving of mac and cheese. A dish that was once simple, a comfort food of America, has now become a symbol of a Las Vegas that is absurdly extravagant. That woman still praised the food as delicious. Okay, that's a plus. But the problem isn't just about the flavor. The problem lies in the value. Is that dish truly worth that fancy price tag? Or is Vegas simply testing how much tourists are willing to pay for the feeling of being pampered? It depends on the individual's assessment. But based on what's happening in the comments section, most people feel that this price is too expensive. Many people will say that people are reacting this way because they have an excessive bias against Vegas. And what tourist city isn't expensive like that? But that's only true until you have to pay $40 for a burger. And trust me, a can of Coke for $4 or Pepsi for $6 in Vegas is no different from the can you buy for 70 cents at Walmart. The formula remains unchanged. The feeling hasn't changed. Only the price is inflated. Visiting Vegas now is like stepping into a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Constantly in an endless chase to see if what you buy is worth the money. After each bill, they try to trace which parts are genuine services and which are sophisticated tricks that have been added. As for the city, like a cunning mouse in that game, it skillfully sets a series of small traps. A new surcharge, an overhyped premium experience, or a package deal that's not really a deal at all. Behind that painting is a deliberate problem. Vegas seems to be gradually pushing out the average guest, the ones who once filled the rooms and gave the Strip its life, to focus on the big spenders. The theory sounds logical. Fewer tourists, but more spending, and the city still maintains its revenue. But the reality is different. A few thousand VIP guests cannot make up for the millions of middle-class and international tourists who have turned away. The desks were still lit, but there was no laughter anymore. The streets are still bustling, but they lack soul. And yet, Vegas continues down that path, turning a blind eye to the reality that is gradually emptying. Perhaps because the numbers in the financial report still look good, no one wanted to look down at the ground, where the people who once fed this city were slowly leaving, taking with them something more precious than money, the belief that they once belonged here. How long can a city continue to prosper if every bill becomes a barrier between its people and the dreams they once believed in? And if Vegas is truly choosing this expensive path, what will be left when the lights go out, the numbers on the revenue boards, or the memory of a place that once welcomed everyone? Arriving in Las Vegas in 2025 is like returning to a place that was once familiar and suddenly realizing it no longer belongs to you. The neon-lit boulevard still shines as brightly as a memory, but the sound of footsteps has thinned, the emptiness has grown longer, and a feeling of loss creeps in behind every gleaming pane of glass. The city that once sold the world a vibrant dream now makes many people feel as if they are walking through a brightly lit stage, but the audience is half gone. These ghost malls are the clearest sign of that decline. On the edge of the desert, the outlet mall, once bustling with a row of shoulder-to-shoulder brands, is now almost empty. The old sign still hangs there, the long hallways still open, the benches are still neatly arranged, only the people are missing. Sometimes there's a small makeshift shop, like a lamp trying to keep the flame alive in a windswept room. That scene wasn't a sudden collapse. It was like an oil lamp slowly running out that no one was willing to acknowledge. Decline doesn't come from a single cause. The location far from the city center makes shopping destinations reliant on LA Vegas's traffic flow. Vegas. After the pandemic, that flow thinned out. At the same time, costs on the Strip ballooned, causing value to diverge from price. Places that were once symbols of Vegas for everyone closed quietly, like a period at the end of an era of cheap and cheerful. Each closed door is a piece of memory put away, and people begin to realize they no longer have a clear reason to return as before. From the shopping center, a sense of emptiness spread throughout the city. The lights of the large casinos are still beautiful, but the brighter they are, the more empty space is revealed. People are inviting each other to try the locals' casinos away from the Strip. Rooms are affordable, there are few extra fees, meals don't require haggling, parking is still free, and some blackjack tables still pay 3 to 2. They weren't looking for the extraordinary. They were looking for a sense of being treated fairly. It was a quiet shift, but enough to make the main avenue less crowded and the rows of slot machine seats less noisy. For those who visited Vegas in 1995, when less than $200 could cover 3 full days of fun. Today's bills, a $40 snack, a $10 slice of pizza, serve as a painful reminder. The golden age is over. They didn't leave because they lost at the betting table, but because they lost the balance between price and value. Those who remained, for work, for nostalgia, or simply because they had nowhere else to go, witnessed most clearly the cracks that had eaten deep into the soul of a once vibrant city. With each passing day, They saw Vegas still shining, but that brilliance seemed to be used to hide something that was fading. Las Vegas didn't collapse overnight. It changes through small choices, adding a surcharge, reducing a discount, closing a store, moving a sign. Then one day, people look around and find it hard to recognize the place they once loved. The remaining questions are not just for one city. If even Las Vegas, once considered the shining city on a hill, is now empty and broken, what can we expect from places with less light? And as the dreams of a generation are eroded by surcharges and price lists, what will future generations want to find here besides silent ruins in the desert? The hands are the most honest storytellers. The hands that once smoothed the bedsheets flat as water now folded the blanket on the sidewalk, carefully avoiding dust and sand. The hand that once wore white gloves to push the service cart now clutches a jumble of belongings, searching for a temporary place to sleep under the eaves. I didn't hear them complain. I only saw their hand movements slow down, silent like the city's breath after the show. A woman in her 50s, formerly housekeeping, whispered, "Every day smells of floor wax. Now it smells like hot tar." Your story isn't angry, just sad. And sad in the way of those who have worked their whole lives. Behind the numbers lies an old and painful paradox: the supply and demand for temporary accommodation and safe beds for the night. Occupancy rates for emergency shelters and housing for the formerly homeless in Clark County are often high, meaning the system is straining at near maximum capacity. Those who arrived later in the night faced two choices: return to their tents or stay awake all night. No one chooses that because they want to. They chose because there was nothing else to choose. There's still work, but it's not always guaranteed. Employment in the leisure and hospitality sector in Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas in August 2025 is expected to be around 304,000, close to pre-pandemic levels, but fluctuating weekly, seasonally, and with events. That up and down doesn't show up on job flyers, but it does show up in the emptier refrigerator at the end of the month. Anyone who has worked the night shift will understand. Just a few hours less on the schedule and the cost of the room becomes a whole new problem. The people we meet outside the wind corridor are the cogs that once kept the machine running. Waiters, housekeeping staff, maintenance technicians, delivery drivers. There's a 29-year-old man who used to be a waiter but now works night gigs and sleeps in his car in a suburban parking lot to save on gas money. There's a 58-year-old aunt who collects plastic bottles to sell, saying, "Sleeping near the police station makes me feel safer." They didn't apologize for being poor. They just wanted a place they could lock from the inside, a place to put their alarm clock. The city government and community organizations are still doing their part, adding shelter beds, opening laundry facilities, providing job counseling, and connecting people with services. But a good effort doesn't automatically lead to a breakthrough. When the night sky is hot, the temporary tents still stretch along the brightly lit walls. When morning came, they folded up the tarpaulin, tied it to the back of the cart, and went to find new pots. The city seems to be in a silent negotiation with its own soul, a neat image or safe people. What do we prioritize today? How long can a city prosper if the hands that work miracles have to sleep outdoors? And if every night more light pours, down on tents than on rooftops, are we trying to save an image? Or are we forgetting that we need to save people? In August 2025, the Las Vegas chart looked like a joke against logic. Visitor volume decreased by 6.7%, but casino revenue increased by 5.3%, reaching over $1.03 billion USD across Clark County, with the Las Vegas Strip alone generating approximately $679 million USD, a 5.5% increase compared to the same period last year. One way up, one way down. Two arrows pointing in opposite directions, forming a half smile on the economic chart. The ironic smile of a city trying to prove that less can still be more profitable. That phenomenon is not a miracle. It's the result of a strategy called premiumization, making everything more premium to justify price increases. Fewer tourists are visiting, but each person is spending more. Room prices are up, food is up, service fees are up, and even intangible things, from good seats at the show to priority check-in, have been repriced. Experts call this yield management, a way to maximize profit per customer rather than expand the number of customers. But essentially, it's like squeezing more water from a dry sponge. You might get a few drops, but it can't last forever. Behind the bright numbers lies a layer of small but painful costs. In Nevada, the average resort fee is currently around $55 per night, excluding taxes and surcharges. These charges never appear in advertisements or when you book. Only at checkout are they added, like a stab in the back for the customer. Source: Reno Gazette-Journal, 2025. Many people leave Vegas feeling not that they spent money, but that they were fleeced. Therefore, in May 2025, the US Federal Trade Commission, FTC, issued the junk fees rule, requiring hotel companies, travel agencies, and booking platforms to display the total package price up front, rather than hiding extra fees until the last minute. This regulation does not prohibit charging fees, but it does prohibit concealing the truth. A small victory for consumers, but it exposes a larger paradox. Las Vegas, once proud to be the place where people came to try their luck, now lives by betting on customer trust. In the short term, the fewer customers but more expensive strategy makes the financial statements look better. But in the long run, it's like a fever that temporarily warms a cold body. When trust is eroded, cash flow will dry up faster than any profit chart. Because there's no formula that can replace what keeps visitors coming back: the feeling of being welcomed. Vegas was once called the City of Hospitality, where free smiles were a specialty. But when every smile comes at a price, we're left with only an empty shell of this place. Some travel experts suggest that the city could rebalance its profit model, not by cutting prices, but by reinvesting in a fair experience. A proposal was put forward by Caesars Entertainment to pilot the Transparent Stay initiative, fully displaying room costs and surcharges directly on the website, offering bonus points for direct bookings and reducing resort fees during the off-season. A small change, but that's how Vegas can regain what the statistics don't measure: confidence. How long can a city survive if it only serves a small number of privileged people? And when every smile has a price tag, what's left to call the Vegas miracle? Entering fiscal year 2025, Las Vegas announced a new budget with a focus on maintaining urban order and the city's image. The largest expenditures are not for social housing or job retraining, but for security, public asset management, and operating the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center, the largest homeless support center in the region. Additionally, the city is spending extra on private security services to patrol key commercial areas and along the Strip. The stated goal is to keep tourists safe, but in reality, the image of order seems to be prioritized over the real needs of the people. The numbers in the budget report sound reasonable, but when you look outside on the street, you see a different reality. The patrol car silently drove past the tent area set up next to Flamingo Avenue without stopping or causing any disturbance. For those living there, that action carried a clear message. You can stay there, as long as no one sees you. A middle-aged man, formerly a hotel maintenance worker, recounted, "I understand, they don't want tourists to see us, but if they really want to help, they have to stop." The sentence sounds light at first, but it contains a sense of deliberate abandonment. When the city prioritizes image and order, but housing, healthcare, and employment don't keep pace, the credibility gap widens. Each Vegas is back billboard makes many people chuckle bitterly. Vegas is back. But back for whom? Most current policies are like patching a road with a coat of shiny paint, while the underlying structure is slowly decaying. A city once proud of its hospitality now operates like a brand needing damage control for media coverage. The irony is that those very control measures are deepening the divide. When tourists feel everything is too staged and locals feel erased from the picture, Vegas loses what once made it special. The feeling that everyone is welcome. A city that lives off tourism cannot thrive if trust between visitors and residents is divided. A possible solution being proposed by some experts is a dual solution package. One is housing, employment, welfare, focusing on the bridge housing program, providing 90-day temporary housing with vocational training, suggested as a collaboration between MGM Resorts and local organizations like Help Hope Home. Second is the no surprise package, a truly transparent travel model, displaying all costs, room plus taxes, plus breakfast, plus resort fee, directly on the booking platform, reducing additional fees when guests choose a longer stay. This is not a promotional campaign, but a commitment to restore trust. Vegas was born to make people believe in miracles, that with just one lucky night, everything can change. But when those bright lights shone down on the empty streets, when the smiles of hospitality turned into extra charges, when the person who used to clean the rooms now had to sleep under billboards, perhaps what needed saving was no longer Vegas. What needs saving is faith, the belief that the American dream still has room for everyone. A city doesn't collapse overnight. It died slowly through small choices. A hidden fee, a dishonest advertisement, a policy that prioritizes image over people. And then, one day, when Vegas is just a mirror reflecting America, aging, tired, but still trying to appear glamorous, perhaps we'll have to ask ourselves, who is the one who truly needs saving? This city, or rather, we ourselves, those who unknowingly let the magic fade. Maybe no one wants to save Las Vegas anymore. But who knows? This deliberate collapse might be a wake-up call for the entire United States to reflect on itself, to realize that no city deserves to be abandoned, only forgotten values. If even Vegas, the symbol of the American dream, no longer has magic, where will the rest of America go? And if this collapse is intentional, who is really choosing that? If you believe there's still something worth saving in America, a city, a memory, or a value that once made us proud, please share this video. Please leave a comment below, as your story could be the piece that helps us understand what America is truly losing. And if you want to continue your journey exploring the truest hidden corners of America today, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so we can reach the very end of that dream together, even if it's crumbling. This video is for informational and commentary purposes only and is not financial, legal, or medical advice. The data and prices presented reflect the time of recording and may change over time. The content is used with public citations under the principle of fair use for educational and commentary purposes. All trademarks and brands are the property of their respective owners. The video does not promote gambling or any risky behavior.